closer.
Yeah, I always want to come and get close.
And
We are live.
good evening, Internet land. Welcome. Yes, you have a face.
No, I thought I had a piece of my shaving
Is
stuff.
there a face on my face? No, there's no face on your face. Hi, everyone.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy
Hi, Jordan.
Hey, Jordan. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday night. Happy sisters.
I thought we
Happy.
weren't talking about that.
No, we're. It's the talk of the
Uh-oh,
moon.
the phalanx is in the high orbit.
All right, Commodore. Good evening, Nick. Hello, and good evening. So, get some paint on my palette here, and
There's really not a lot going on tonight with us.
I'm painting.
Yeah, there's some discussions. We were having a little bit of a discussion about the whole fiasco involving the Sisters of Battle box. For those who I mean, it just.
We'll get into that. There's also Faith in whatever the new book is.
Faith and Fury.
Faith and
I haven't
Fury.
had a chance to read that one yet, to get my hands on it. As soon as I get my hands on it,
Well, it's not even out yet. It only just went on pre-order.
Once I'm able to get my hands on it, we will do a review for it.
It's got a lot of good stuff on it.
I'm curious about it. I recently learned a lot about the Black Templars, courtesies of what's his face.
Alva Brusa.
That was Bruce Alfarius.
Whatever. Text to speech.
Yeah, he does a really cool podcast where he actually goes over the Black Templars, talks about their one and only codex. Yes, people are literally battling it out over that box set because they didn't make enough. They were sold out within 5 minutes of launch, and by Friday night, before they were even on pre-sale, these things were already showing up on eBay. And there's a problem with this.
There's a couple problems. And there's more than just the fact that there was a limited.
It was a limited run also, which was majority of it was the reason for that was because that GW was attempting to fulfill their promise to have Plastic Sisters out before the end of the year. And I think they may have stabbed themselves in the foot with that one. Or shot themselves in the foot. Stabbed. No bolters.
We're talking about bolter stuff, but we're not working on bolter stuff, so it's okay too.
So
here's the thing.
Hello to everybody else who has joined us.
So let's start off talking about the Sisters. So here's the thing. So Sisters went on pre-sale. They hyped it. Holy crap! I don't think they could have hyped it anymore. And I don't even think they needed to hype it at the level they did.
They could have Disney hyped it. I don't think anybody can get quite Disney level of hype.
No, they Disney hyped that crap.
Did they? I didn't think they were hyping
They
that much.
literally had hello, my lovely niece. They literally had an article like every other week on their website with new pictures and new data and new everything. And then they had a convention. They had a convention like a month or so ago, and they gave away a bunch of people that came to their unveiling. They're like, oh yeah, by the way, here's a figure. You know, they gave away a freaking Canonus to everybody that was there. I mean, this thing has been hyped all the hell. So the fact that they were not prepared with the volume they got. Now the thing is, we already know that Games Workshop likes creating the artificial scarcity thing. They've done it with a number of their box sets. And you know, there is a fine line between not printing enough and having the problem we've had with a couple of them, like Loon Curse. Like this is a battle box. Those are two I can think of off the top of my head because those have been the big ones I've been around for. But there have been a couple that, and they've done it with more than just box sets. They've done it with books. There have been certain books they brought back for limited runs or limited printings,
and everybody was like, "Oh!"
And you couldn't get it anywhere. So here's the thing. Part of their business model relies on having a demand for their stuff. And part of their business model relies on not having a ton of stock that they don't move. Okay?
Because people's right.
Well, that's the whole thing. Case in point, a few years back, they created a game called Dreadfleet. And they thought it was going to sell gangbusters because pirates were a big thing and people were really into pirates and ships because of
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates of the Caribbean. So they came up with a board game that involved ships. And they overproduced the number of kits, the number of boxes they produced the basic game. And they were left with, they sold less copies than they had in their storage facilities left over. I mean, they overproduced, and they ended up with this game that nobody wanted. And to be honest, it wasn't, from everything I've been told, I have not had the joy of playing this game. I know where I can actually buy a copy. It's still on the shelf. I know I can actually buy a copy. I've thought about if I had money to spare to buy a copy, but at the same time, I'm like, everything I've heard about this game, it wasn't very good. So, yeah, that's not going to happen. But then at the same time, not that long afterwards, they produced.
Of course we do.
Yes.
Miss Long Whiskers owner.
But then they also produced a copy, a revitalized, brand new edition of their classic game, Space Hulk. And the game that introduced 40K to both Terminators and Gene Stealers. Do they steal genes?
Are you a gene stealer?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, introduced us to Gene Stealers and Terminators, and it's been insanely popular always, every time, and they underproduced the crap out of it. And now you go onto eBay, and if you can actually find one there, they're ridiculous. And that's the whole thing. They're the artificial scarcity thing. They produce X number of copies. They don't number them.
What do I look like? I have no idea what I look like when I'm cutting.
You get all intense.
Do I?
Yeah. Well, I mean that's exactly the point. But you look at the same thing. You look at what's the Aeronautica Imperialis, and that actually sold really well. People apparently like this game, and it's a really well written game too. And you can't really use it for 40K. But I also hear that it's also in basically the same scale. So if you want to do a combined Imperialis and Titanicus game, you can basically do that. It's like you're afraid of hurting them. Smile, they can take it.
Trust me, my cornates will enjoy it. I can cut off limbs and they.
She's not worried about cutting them.
I'm worried about cutting me. Speaking of, I had to explain the eye thing at my job interview.
Nice. So she's got a new job. I'm very happy. We're excited.
Well, provided I can clear a background check.
I didn't know she was running drugs behind the house. No idea that it's a meth lab.
Meth lab.
All right. So anyhow,
No, seriously, we need to look at this. Somebody's mad at us.
what's he mad about?
I don't, because I'm not in the bed. My Maine Coon Rum, who's like this big, ladies and gentlemen, he's a big ass cat.
Now remember, don't look at his actual like on your devices. Think real scaling. He's huge. He's a big,
like his head stops here, and him laying down, he's the size of my torso. And he's currently laying on the ground over here with his back to us, and he's got his ears turned slightly, so it's obvious he's listening to us, but he is not acknowledging us.
Ben, I'm really happy that
I
Tina.
cannot wait till she gets them. I told Tina I want to see him.
I'm super happy for Tina because here's the thing. Talking to a couple other people online, one of the biggest fiascos was apparently they were having all kinds. That's the other part of it. The limited, the limited scarcity or the false scarcity. That was only part of the problem. And you know what? I'll come back to my eventual thoughts on that one because I actually thought about it for a bit and then I was okay with it, and I'll explain why. But
you are missing Big D ranting about the false scarcity that GW created with
I'm
their.
not ranting. We're having a
You
conversation.
have been ranting about it now for about 10 minutes.
Well, we were talking, and I keep getting distracted because you keep talking about other topics. Pirates.
I'm not the one who was talking about pirates.
Cats.
You know, I can leave.
Stabbing yourself in the eye.
I mention it.
It got me off derailed.
Yeah, there's some salt going on here. Not like, you know, uber amounts of salt like how he normally gets.
No.
But he's actually kind of upset. I can't say he's mad, but he's fairly upset actually with the, again, what I was saying with the false scarcity that GW likes to create with their stuff, or the fact that they tend to not make enough.
Here's the thing. My biggest problem actually comes down to the fact that they are a company that had millions, and I do mean millions upon millions upon millions in profit last year.
I approve. You got the Lady Dragon seal of approval.
But the problem was that here's this.
Ew, rat pie is nasty.
Here's this company that is an international firm doing production and distribution of the world's most popular war game worldwide, and their website checkout broke over and over and over and over while they were doing the pre-sale. So literally, people would put the sisters in their cart, go to check out, the site would time out, and then process the order, but it would take the sisters back out of their cart. So they got an order for nothing. And then they get an email notifying them of their order for nothing. And now I didn't hear about this directly, but I was talking to a number of people that were having this huge problem with it. It was more prevalent in other parts of the country.
See, unlike you, I've been paying attention to the chat.
So my whole thing is that if they're going to do these box sets, I understand as a business that you don't want to overproduce. I get that you don't want to make a box set and then leave copies on the shelves for months on end.
Blood of the Phoenix.
Yeah.
That's a naughty many. It's in timeout now.
So the thing is that they do this alternately. And I think it's funny that they some of these boxes they do it too. Again, I bring up Loon Curse because Loon Curse was actually a box that I thought about getting because I thought the figures were really cool. It was Sylvaneth and Goblins.
Oh, that one.
It was a really cool box. The bigger problem is that they had like 5 models or 6 models that were only available in that box set. It's been 6 months. None of those figures are still available. So there are figures that were only available in these limited box sets. It didn't come out for months and months and months and months and months and months and months. Shadow. Oh, I can't even think of the newest Shadow Bane. No, the Vanguard, and the Demon, the Space Marines one, that came out in February. Those figures just went live.
Moon Curse.
Moon Curse. No, Moon Curse is the new one for the Space Marines.
Shadow Spear, is that the one?
Shadow Spear, thank you. Shadow Spear.
Is that the one we have up on the wall?
No, it's still over there because half the Chaos Marines aren't built yet.
Oh, that's right.
But here's the thing.
We have a wall of pictures in here.
Yeah. Shadow Spear came out in February. The individual figures from Shadow Spear just came out. Shadow Spear was out of print for 5 months. So there were guys walking around. And this all goes back to the whole artificial scarcity, but they want to crack down on recasters. They know there's a demand for their product. Put it out there. There's not like it's not going to sell. Produce more when you produce the box sets. There's just international company. Freaking get your shopping cart in order. Yeah, I mean the squigs in that box are just great. There's a Sylvaneth Archer in that box that was just gorgeous. I don't even know if I want to play Sylvaneth, but holy crap, did I want to paint that Archer, dude?
I want to paint the leader.
Yeah, that's the guy I'm talking about with the butterfly wings.
No, the chick.
Oh no, in the box.
No, I'm talking about the chick.
Yeah, no, I know. No, there's a dude in the box that I've seen his wings done up so they look like monarch wings. It's just really, really gorgeous.
And real quick, a segue on the side to answer you, Zane. Sorry that you want to paint more Death Guard and nothing else. Now you're starting to sound like Big D there, darling.
I don't want to only paint Death Guard. Look at this beauty. I'm painting my Palamages.
Wow, I am like losing nonstop over here. But sorry that you had a problem with Patreon. While you were not our first, you are the first to join the private Discord server. So
as soon as the billing cycle starts. So, and we're going to talk about that because today is officially Patreon Thank Your Patrons Day.
And we're actually pretty thankful to the 3 that have decided to give us money.
I have 3 patrons, and I am so happy. So Heinrich Boffa was my first, and I'm very thankful for him.
He only beat Zane by a couple of seconds, apparently.
Inquisitor Zane is our second patron. He is our first
second tier. And he is the first to be invited to the private server of the Gamecraft Dragon's Cave as soon as the next billing cycle goes through. And
you'll get your link.
You'll get your link.
And my third patron is our...
They just pointed out that you say I say us.
No, they didn't point it out. He pointed it out. All right. We'd also like to thank our
third level
supporter in the Commodore,
who you all should behave because he brought the phalanx with him today, and it is currently sitting in high orbit, waiting to shoot off the cannon. Should anyone be naughty, we're looking at you, Zane.
So I am very thankful to even just 3 patrons.
Yeah,
that means a lot to me. And honestly, one of the things
You
that
guys
says
have no idea how many crafting supplies we can get with just with that much.
the other thing that it is it thanks me personally, and yes, us, but it thanks me personally. I started this channel 2.5, almost 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And
It was just before the wedding.
yeah, I started this channel, and this is telling me that honestly, what I'm doing has value. And I started this channel with the simple idea of teaching people the stuff I knew, passing things on, passing on the crafting tips and tricks I knew, passing on my trips, yes.
That's a new one.
Passing on my easy techniques, and passing on my way of finding easier ways to do hard things. And now that I've got her here, it's a little bit more entertainment than just education. We're more like edutainment or something now.
What?
You're very entertaining, my love.
That's because I have. Never mind. We're gonna stop there.
You're gonna stop there.
Yes.
Absolutely, Al. That is exactly it. The biggest thing is sharing our skills. I would not be the model builder and painter and terrain maker that I am today without my brother passing on what he knew to me. He gave me a foundation to work with. And thank you, Zane. That's my whole idea. Thank you, Mike. I mean, that's what we try to do. We just want to help people. We want to teach people the game, and not just 40K. I mean, yes, there's a huge focus the last 6, 7, 8 months
since he got back into the craft or the hobby.
There's been a huge focus on things that are usable for 40K and for Age of Sigmar. Yes, and I will admit that. And part of that is because
it seems to be what people want.
There's a huge dearth of D&D focused channels. There's a huge dearth of D&D terrain focused channels.
I mean, not that we're knocking any of those guys there.
I love that stuff, and I still want to make stuff, and the stuff I try to make is universal. But there's I can think of guys that are specifically making this kind of stuff for wargaming terrain. There's only a few of them. There really only is a few of them.
Oh, that reminds me.
Yeah.
As soon as we can, we probably next week are we gonna start the war cardboard?
Yeah, it's part of that's part of the plan. Well, and that's the thing. You only get better by doing it and doing it and doing it. And I have a couple tutorials I've got on deck. I've got a couple tutorials on deck on how I paint things.
I heard a squeak. Sorry, that's my favorite phrase.
My tutorial on how to paint when I painted Typhus, a lot of people
complained.
I didn't say a lot of people complained, but a number of people brought up the point that it wasn't so much a tutorial as it was me showing off my color choices and why I was choosing my colors. It wasn't a technique type tutorial. So the tutorial I'm going to be doing this month for one of these guys will be a technique tutorial, because I'm going to literally put the camera on me over my shoulder while I build and paint the figures start to finish.
I am, as soon as I can figure out how to work all the equipment, was actually planning on putting up a video on how I paint my Cornites, because I've gotten actually a couple of compliments with the way that I do it, but I need to test something real quick before I do that. Tina was so kind as to show me, I guess there is a lady mini painter who provides these beautiful vibrant colors. It's Dana something. Tina, if you could by chance put her name in, I would love to give her the recognition that she deserves. She does underpainting first. Basically what she does is she'll, prime them And then she zenithals them, and then she goes back with Nun Oil and Dana Howe. Thank you, Mike. And then she goes back over and dry brushes white in the highlights and the upper parts so she can get an even larger stack of this, and uses Nun Oil in the lower areas for the shadowing. So when she finally puts all of her colors on, she gets this beautiful, vibrant. I mean, if you look at her page, go check out her YouTube channel. She has this absolutely gorgeous paint job for her night haunt. And I want to try this. I really do.
I guess I'll throw a link out there at some point.
Amazing.
There's another guy that Miniac actually brought me that he spent a year and a half. No, Miniac showed me this guy does the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
He spent a year and a half painting what do you call it? Magnus the Red.
Yes. I remember that whole
But thing. It was just in black and white. And he's like, all right, I finally got my undercoat done, and now I'm ready to do the colors. And everyone was like, it looks done just in black and white. He's like, oh, no, now we're going to do the real colors.
This is called undercoating.
And the reason he does it that way is, at least this guy, the reason he did it this way is because he doesn't paint with paints. He did all the undercoating in paints and whatnot, but then when he came to actually painting the figure, he used inks. Just pure inks through his airbrush. And since those are opaque, all he had to do was just layer the ink on the figures. And holy crap,
if you could please let Dana know that I think she is a goddess, I would appreciate it. I don't have Twitter, so slightly resistant to Twitter.
I do.
The only reason I want Twitter is so I can follow the Crimson
Effort. Yeah.
Yes. Alucard. I'm a nerd. I'm sorry. Not sorry.
Yeah, appreciate. See, they call it appreciating in mini painting. I've never heard of post.
I've never heard post shading. I've heard it called undercoat and pre-shading. More undercoating than anything.
And then when you're doing it to a finished figure, it's just called shading.
Yeah. And I would really like to give a go at something like that. Thank you, Mike. And I want to give it a go with some of these with my guys, because coordinates are fairly uninspired, I have found, with their color scheme. However, I'm having a blast with them. Mostly because, unlike my husband here, I'm not flap. Okay, there's your shade of red. We're done. He sees red, and that's it. It's just red. That's
why I don't paint anything in red. Honestly,
he doesn't see it. Whereas I've currently, when I do mine, is
I unfortunately. Okay, gotcha.
That makes sense.
See, and that's the funny thing. And it's not that she's saying this about red. It's hell child, what's going on? To me, it's very specific with red. I don't know what it is, but when it comes to reds and oranges, I have a real hard time seeing tones of red.
It's kind of amusing.
It's weird. I'll look at 3 paints. I'm like, which one am I using here? I can't tell. For whatever reason, different shades of red look the same to me. But the flip side is, how many shades of green do I have? Greens, browns, blues. I have 12 different.
He can see greens. He just can't see different shades of red.
But that's the whole thing. It's not just color blindness, because it's just specifically shades of red.
That's what.
And I can see them if they're really different. Yeah, it's like weird. It's like really slight. Because here's a perfect example. Okay.
Those are 2 different colors.
I can tell these are 2 different colors. But
those are 2 different colors as well. One is corn red.
Yeah, I mean they are different colors. This is darker. It's weird. When they're painted, it's funny. I can look at the bottles and see they're different, but when I paint them, I can't see the difference. It's weird.
So for those of you,
because I'll work with greens.
Where's my flesh terrors?
The contrast is probably put away.
Why would it be put away? I had it in my.
But here's the thing with greens. For whatever reason, I see shades of green. I've like my Death Guard. My Death Guard are like 6 or 7 shades of green.
They are.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
But that's the thing. Like I do my Death Guard in green, and I start off with 1 shade of green, and then I blend it up 3 layers to get to the color I want, and then I'll do highlights in another color, and then I'll wash the whole thing in a completely distinctly different green. And greens I'm fine with. Like this here, you can't for whatever reason this isn't showing right on the camera right now.
It's not. Oh, excuse me.
This is actually not blue. It looks blue when I see it on the camera.
The screen's kind of dark.
Yeah, I'm actually using Phoenician purple. That's just the base coat for these. There's going to be like 4 shades of purple in these, like the other guys I've done so far. I can do blending of colors. I can do blending of colors in cool colors. I have a hard time.
We should point out he sucks at wet blending.
I don't suck at wet blending. I just don't do it often because I don't. I mean, it's great. I've tried it. I don't like the effect always, so I've tried it with fire. I've done it okay with doing fire. Not fiery swords though. I hate it.
Whites and creams are fun, I found, to use to get some beautiful depths and textures using white color. I mean, come on, oh, for heaven's sakes.
Again, proof that I don't have problems with red. These are 3 different shades of white. I use them distinctly differently. What's really bad is yellows in me. Because...
Would you please put these back in the correct?
No, I will not. They don't go back. They go back.
Beat you within an inch of my life.
So, all right. Faith and Fury.
Haven't really read too much on it. Best I know is that apparently we are going to get some fun stuff because it is talking about the Ordo Heretics, the Ordo Xenos, and I do know that it is also going to have some stuff involving the World Eaters.
The Ordo Hereticus and all that stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Nope, not in that book.
Oh, not that one?
No, that's in that's in this month's White Dwarf. It's got basically a new codex, a new mini codex for the Inquisition. The Inquisition.
Are you still a member of the Inquisition, Zane, or have we converted you to Death Guard Inquisitor?
Oh man.
Oh, that's terrifying.
I think it's awesome.
A Death Guard Inquisitor?
Well, no, it's even better than that.
No, that's freaking terrifying.
No, that's even better. Because what you could do, because you can have Traitor Guard. You do a Traitor Guard. Oh, Nurglish Guard.
And a new idea has been born. I should probably write this down.
No, not really. It's not that big a deal. I don't need any more cultists. I have enough cultists.
Scrolls, bone, and armor. Slightly different shades for me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What I actually use for doing scrolls, honestly, I do I use model color, Vallejo model color ivory. I highlight it in Vallejo off-white, and then I give it a wash in Seraphim sepia, and I get a really, really...
He stops there. I put another wash. I put another highlight over it.
And that's the difference. I'm very much a Blanchitsu style painter. I like my stuff to look kind of dark and grim.
Yeah,
so that's it's all about style, and that's why
it's not that. It's like I like having a little bit more of a definition for some things.
Like I said, that's the difference. Yeah, I like Blanchitsu. I like the muddy look.
Of course, then again.
Well, okay. So anyhow,
Abaddon, and recognizes Abaddon as his Horus. That is his Primarch.
We'll talk about my Horus guardsness.
Oh, for heaven God's sakes.
Anyhow, so the new Faith and Fury, it's got a bunch of new abilities for all the Marines that are standard Marines. So everybody they just gave updates to. They just gave more psychic updates to.
Oh, this is the Psychic Awakening.
Yes, but guess who they didn't give them to?
The wolves?
The Wolves, the Blood Angels, the Dark Angels, and the Death Guard. Not Death Guard, the Death Watch. Death Watch. Yeah, they don't get crap yet. So, but the Blood Angels are getting something soon because I mean their big guy's getting a new model and not yet, Jordan. Give it time. And chaos models are great to paint. The other thing they do is that all of the chaos legions, all the normal chaos legions, so everybody but Death Guard and Thousand Sons, all of them are getting some new psychic abilities and some new stratagems and some new abilities there. And the Black Templars actually have a mini codex in the middle of the Faith and Fury book.
So, anger management boys need some help.
Yeah. So they're all there. Apparently this new book's actually very rules heavy as opposed to the last book, which wasn't mainly fluff. So that's good.
Exactly. And I think that one of the nice things, Mike, about how everybody has their own painting style, sometimes it's a lot of fun to figure out and kind of borrow from other people's to get different effects.
I agree. And it's also painting to your audience. I mean, if I'm painting a figure that I want to really show off to some people, I'll actually go back in and do a little bit more extra highlighting and extra layers of highlighting and extra, like I did with my Ancient.
Oh, yeah. The one that got more votes to me.
Yeah. Shut up. Why did the Dusty guys get more psychic? Because they're a Yeah. All our dust. Thousand Sons.
Those idiots.
Yeah, the sarcophagus filled with dust. Because they're all just rubricked. Yeah, she wants to start collecting box. She doesn't even want to play them, but she really wants to paint them.
That's my Chaos Army for 40K.
Really? You really want to play them? Okay.
It's on my Christmas list.
Okay, then. Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. We got to get you that Terminator box for Kilton, then. Get you painting those dusty Terminators.
Is this before or after I finish my Tempestus Science?
You don't need Tempestus Science.
Yeah, I think they're mostly...
They're almost all psychics. That's the whole thing.
Considering that was Magnus's group, if I'm not mistaken.
That's the whole thing. They're his sons, and he's the second most powerful psychic in the galaxy, so yeah.
The only person who comes somewhat close to him that's still breathing, and I do say it in this way because the Emperor's chest does not move up and down. His lungs do not work.
He's breathing.
Through a tube to the back of his head.
He's still breathing.
Anyway.
No, the only person more powerful than him is Big Daddy E. There's nobody more powerful than Big Daddy.
I said who's coming close to his. Jeez, oh crap. I was trying to say Caldor Drago comes in a nice right behind Magnus.
No. He doesn't count.
Why does he not count?
Because he is Magnus.
Caldor Drago is Magnus?
Yeah.
He's insane. Oh, wait, that's a text-to-speech. Never mind.
No, that's pretty much game. He's insane. He's a fragment of
Magnus' psyche?
Yeah, when he was shattered, yeah, one of those fragments became Caldor Drago. Yeah,
that explains so much.
Yeah, there you go. A little bit of lore there. So yeah,
I'm still picking up on Lord.
Yeah, so
be nice, Orc Boy, or no teeth for Christmas for you.
And the reason saying they didn't get more psychic powers is because they will get theirs when they get their refresh, which they may get soon, may not. Probably not. Probably at the end of Psychic Awakening, everybody who get a refresh is going to get a big raspberry. I was talking to Nick, who runs IDIC Beer. We were talking about this a little bit. He's actually not very hopeful for the Necrons getting anything out of this.
I'm not.
Which is messed up, because they said at the beginning everybody's going to get something, and he's like, really? What the hell are you going to give Necrons?
New terrain.
How about just some new models? God, those guys are just so. Anyhow. That
Needless
is
to say, that's what his Xeno army will be.
no.
I thought you wanted to do.
I do want to do them. I want to do
Oh,
everything.
for fuck's sake, make up your damn mind. Oh, demonetized.
Why would you do this?
Because I'm still used to it.
Why would you do?
We need that thing that the Emperor did, where it made
Actually,
god awful sound.
actually, after what happens this weekend,
You
know what my Xeno arm is going to be?
What? Are you gonna do another Slanesh?
My Orcish viewers will be very happy with me.
Oh God, Mike, you're so bad. That's still not well. I'll give it there.
Yeah, no, my Orcish viewers will be happy because
yes, I'm sorry. It was me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We need to get like something on here that filters me.
Either that or I'm just going to get an air horn, and every time he does it,
Maybe I'll just have to quit. Frack. It's better than what my 16-year-old says. She says crap baskets.
Zoggin. So yeah, actually, I am. To be honest, there, Mike, I am making an acquisition this coming weekend.
That's right. I was about to be like, see, whenever he says acquisition, I'm immediately on defense, considering the last time he got an acquisition.
No, your Stormcast are over in your box.
I'm gonna bite you.
I don't know what she's talking about. Anyhow, after an acquisition I have scheduled for this weekend, I will be acquiring the contents of a second edition starter box.
What you're going to get, Zane, is a smack upside the head.
I got a paddle just for you, Zane. The side of his head. Not a good paddling. The bad kind of paddling. And he's okay with that. Well, of course he is. He's an inquisitor. Self-made arcoflagellants. I'm going back to. How about the next time we're in Sacramento? He lives near there.
Not really.
Well, that's true. California is its own planet. It's so large. Don't encourage the Zane. Don't feed the bear.
Don't feed our resident troll. But why? It's so easy.
But yeah, I've got a acquisition that should be happening this weekend, where I'll be picking up the full contents and the actual box of a second edition starter box set. And
we just know you're in California.
He's in the Valley. I know that. He said he was in the Valley.
Yes.
Whatever. Who cares? Carpet bomb all of it. Zane, I'd have to check my previous chats. We've had this conversation before.
He actually did not say where he was. Oh, no, wait, he did.
He did say where he is.
He did say exactly how far it is to Sacramento from him as well.
Yeah.
Which kind of gives us a little bit of a...
And that's in carpet bombing distance. Yeah, keep thinking that, Zane. La, 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 la.
I'm not in this.
Anyhow, I'll just track you down. That's bombing range. No, he doesn't live on some mountain out there. He lives in a hole on the beach.
No! He's in the valley!
All right, anyhow. I'm in the valley.
Criminy.
Fill with resin. Be nice and flat when we're done.
It's always interesting how many people totally don't get exactly how big California is, and when somebody says the valley, they have no idea actually how big the damn thing is.
It's not that nobody knows. It's that nobody cares.
I'm gonna walk away.
No, you're not.
You want to bet?
Yes.
Ooh, excuse me.
Burpee.
So we know you're not in Death Valley. Thanks for sharing that one.
But yeah, a second edition box set, which has a bunch of original Beaky Marines in plastic and a bunch of orcs and Gretchen, although back then they were called goblins. So, I think they were just called gobos. I don't know. I'll know when I get the box set. But a couple have been painted already, so they're going into simple green and getting bathed.
Did I call my stuff out of simple green?
Which stuff?
Yes, she did.
And so I'm gonna take them and I'm gonna simple green them and strip the few of them that are not built. Most of them aren't even built. He showed me the pictures. Most of them are still on the sprues. So I'm really looking forward to this. One of the things I'm going to do, because I know it's a weird number of Marines. That's the other thing that's interesting about them. It's a weird number of Marines. So like more than you need for a squad. And it's like there's like 34 Marines. It's a really weird number. I remember that from my box set. So the idea is that I'm hoping I have an enough number that I can take somebody I know that paints stuff and bring him one grot, one orc, and one Marine and have him paint them up in his style so I can just stick them on display with my stuff. And that somebody is in this channel. So he should know that that's coming along with a box of old models that I got from a friend that need to be stripped and rebuilt and recleaned and all that. No, I'm not going to have him paint the whole set. And the reason I'm not going to have him paint the whole set,
he wants to paint some.
I want to paint some to make up for my second edition box that was lost through 3 or 4 moves over the years and potentially eaten by small children. Yeah. Same guy ate all my Star Wars figures. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, all right. I was going to talk about a good painter, but you'll do.
I'm just going to... I'm just going to...
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of the fun of the whole thing. And the best part about it is, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to tell him that he's going to paint the Marine in whatever color scheme comes to mind for him. He doesn't have to look at any official art. He doesn't have to look.
Oh, that's okay. No, I don't think so.
Yeah. I'm going to have him, I'm going to show him all the official art, but then I'm going to tell him, I don't want to know what chapter they are until you paint them. I want you to paint them however you want. Because one of the other things I thought about doing was actually doing kind of a challenge and painting one of each of them into one of each of the different.
My shit's gone dry.
Yeah, I know. But why did you stop and freak out for a moment?
I realized that has 2 pieces.
Yeah?
And I don't have an extra sprue for chaos. I don't have a storage for chaos. I'm going to have to go get some.
Yeah.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
So, you know, the whole idea is that I'm going to use these as the basis for the beginning of my orc army, which is a long ways off because orcs are massive.
The NASCAR chapter. That would be very neat.
You laugh. You know what would be funny is to get him one of the
tanks.
No, not one of the tanks. Get him one of the orc race cars and have him painted up as, say, a Jeff Gordon.
Why Jeff Gordon? Why Jeff Gordon?
Because the color would be hilarious.
Okay.
Either a Jeff Gordon or.
Wouldn't it
Okay. Al knows what I'm talking about. Al, who drives that Tide car? Because that is the coolest car. Yeah, he knows what I mean when I say the Tide car. Yeah, I know he'd do it. Yeah, and have like an orc make that. I mean, you understand. Again, talking about my brother. My brother has been into racing for the entirety of my life. I have known
Carol
him.
Waltrip and later Ricky Rude.
Yeah. So having him paint up some orc vehicles. I mean, like I said, one of the things I thought about if I can get my hands on a DACA jet to have him paint it up, have him paint up a DACA jet as a freaking Messerschmitt. But having him paint up, say, I don't know, the orc knob on the trike, or the rocket what is it, the rocket blaster car or something. I don't even know. The Speed Freaks had that whole box of just crazy looking rocket jet vehicles.
Mike, you are the resident expert.
Anyhow, buying a box of Speed Freaks and giving the entire box to my brother and just saying, just paint them. I'm gonna use them in an army. You paint them. Tell me that would not be hilarious.
But they're not red. They have to be red.
No, they do not have to be red. They have to be red if I'm doing that family. My orcs would actually be probably yellow, be evil sons. So yellow would be the big thing they'd want to have on all of them.
So it's harder.
Make more money. Yellow's gold. Yellow's the color of luck. I'm an orc. I get rerolls.
I thought yellow was
Luck.
I thought yellow was make it hit harder, red makes it go faster, purple makes it harder to see.
I just know yellow is lucky, so they have rerolls.
Like, help!
Yeah, the orc half track. That'd be the other thing I wouldn't mind trying to do. If I did a whole orc army, get some of the Cromlech pieces where they've all got like Nazi and the storm helmets and all that, and doing a 1940s German paint scheme orc army. Panzers. Look, it's our tank. It's a Panzer.
Oh God, Sorry, a long time ago, I don't know how many people here have ever heard of a game called Wolfenstein, let alone played it. And it's a World War II. You either play Americans or you play German Nazis. And at one point, there is, if you are playing an American and you have a bazooka, there's a chance you will hear the AI scream, "Mein Gott, ein American has a Panzerfaust." And yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I'm all about the Gorka Morka, because that was my real first interests in orcs, bigger than just painting up some models. The whole original Gorka Morka rules, which were the original introduction of vehicles to 40K. Again, that to tell you how long ago I got into 40K. When I played, there only was foot slogging, and then they introduced rules. And they had all these vehicle templates and turning templates, and yeah. So that'd be a lot of fun. So yeah, my Xenos army, I want to do a Necron kill team at least, but that's only because they're broken. They're so broken in kill team.
He also wants to make a Tyranid army and paint them all like hard meats.
Oh my god. The only reason I really want to do it is just to be able to put them on the table once. They're I don't know.
He's kicked their butts multiple times.
I'm not a huge fan of the Tyranids. I love their look.
Again, it's one of those, see there. Purple is sneaky, red is faster, blue is lucky, and yellow is peace. Panzer shrieks are better because they shriek panzers? I'm just going to stay out of that one.
Yeah.
I know it's a Wolfenstein thing, Zane. I don't really know that much about it.
All right. So that being said, we can move on from since we're supposed to be a no bolter November.
Speaking of, apparently this turned out to be a challenge that he somehow decided he was going to do it. Ooh, I should probably not be attacking them. Sorry, I'm playing a game over here on the side.
Yeah, someone decided that my saying no bolter November, where I wanted to focus on the more fantasy side of things, was a challenge that I had put forth and nobody was taking, but I was taking seriously. I don't even know where that came from.
I would like to point out that this was Frost and Fist. Our boys.
Yeah, he's like, oh, it's a challenge. It's not a challenge. I'm just trying to vary my content. So,
and he's already failed at it. Why do I know he's failed at it? Because he was sitting here talking about 40K instead of Age of Sigmar.
That and the fact I built a Chimera the other night.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. When did you do that?
The other night.
Our highest guy.
No.
He's taken to saying no the way that Rogel Dorn apparently says it in
No.
You have to get up close and you say it directly. And I'm like, no. And do you have to get so close? Yes. Oh, that's what an Panzer Shrek? Sorry, I don't speak German. Oh, crap, I don't. We are not in any way, shape, or form sponsored by this game, but I am currently playing a game called Raid Shadow Legends. It is a
wonderful waste of time on your phone. And if you want to waste time on your phone, you should download Raid Shadow Legends. Give us money, Raid!
That's not how you get them to want to give you money.
Give me money!
That's how you get them to go, well, these people suck. Oh my god.
It's a game.
It is a game. It's fun. It's mindless. It's got pretty graphics. And sexy women. I just have to put that out there because the female barbarians tend to wear not a lot, and they're my favorites to use. And actually, a lot of color schemes come out of this for things that I want to do.
All right. That's another one down. Oh, download to your phone. There you go.
It's a lot of fun. It's free. It's actually a lot of fun. I get a lot of ideas for different types of color schemes for different. Did you really just
wipe it out first?
Look at Tim licking it now.
I'm just making sure it's nice and clean.
Really wasn't. But yeah, so they use a lot of really interesting color schemes for some of the different factions in this game, which I have been looking at for. Where's my dancing? I am not licking one of them. Give me that. Freak.
Yeah, that's it. Get the big dusting brush and do it with that one. Is that the Army Painter? Yeah, that's the Army Painter one.
Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted.
Yeah, that's the good one. They're sharp. Wait a minute. I used poison on my blade. Thud. What was that from? The guy is like, he threatens him with a knife and then he licks his blade and it's like, oh, wait a minute. I poisoned my knife. Thud. It's hilarious.
I don't remember.
That was so dumb.
But yeah, Raid Shadow Legends got some really cool different color schemes, different factions with different looks and whatnot. I swear by all that is holy, one of the demonesses was inspired by Bloody Slanesh. She's got the same color scheme. It's frightening.
So
apologies, we have somebody who's got a stomach. Bug. So. Oh, hey, I got defeated again. So,
Alive. You're sick. Go away. Don't come near us. We love you. Go away.
Plague Baker.
Go away, Sicky.
No, Plague Bringer.
Go away, Sicky.
We love you, but I just got a new job. I can't get sick.
You got it?
Yes.
That's
So,
weird.
yes, moist.
You got it.
No, leave poor Will alone, Zane. Will is not feeling good. Zane, will you get out of here?
Wait.
Will,
Wait.
stop spreading Nurgle's love. Wait, why is the Inquisitor encouraging Nurgle's love?
Because Inquisitor has fallen. He's a fallen Nurglish Inquisitor now. I'm so proud of him.
That still terrifies
He has
me.
joined the team. Ha ha ha.
I have Clorox. That's what's going to get used. Oh, crap again. So, yes, I did.
Okay.
And Ray is apparently very happy right now. So, yes. So let's go over to what's on the bench project. You know, it's only been an hour into this.
A little more unstructured tonight, which I'm okay with.
So what's on the bench? Well, let's see. As you can see, big.
What are you working on? And then we'll talk about me.
You know what? Your butt has been talking for the last hour. I think I can butt in here some butt.
That's why he's telling you to talk about what you're doing.
Yeah, talk about what you're doing. I'm not important. Chug some bleach. You know,
Nothing. Get away.
so go look on your phone then. All right. So Lady Dragon will now inform you what she is doing. From the crowd.
He wants me to leave early.
But.
What was the? Oh, let's see. Where's the deleted message? Oh. Sorry, we can see when things get deleted, and it's amusing. Wow, that's great.
Sorry.
Ugh, that's a terrifying sounding name. Ooh.
Okay, so since she's not going to tell you, she is currently building the 20-man squad of Cornish mainline troops. I don't even know what they're called.
Blood Reavers.
Blood Reavers. So she's painting Blood Reavers right
I'm
now.
not painting. Boo.
Well, she's about to paint them because she's just done building them. And they're about to get primed. And as you guys have seen, I am currently just trying to get through the entirety of my Stormcast army. Because I'm trying to get them painted as quickly as I can.
You found that 4chan story you were talking about. Now we regret it.
Yep.
We did warn you.
I told you then. You don't want to watch it. I mean, you don't want to read it. You will, but you don't want to. And there will be images left in your mind afterwards that you will not be able to get rid of later.
Ever.
And that is the problem with 4chan.
All right.
Now, that being said, what's coming up? Well, for this month, what is coming up? Next week's video is going to be on my fantasy ruins that we're building out of XPS foam. That will be modular and usable for Warcry, AOS, and any other fantasy setting, as they're just going to be kind of generic, but usable in many ways and easily upgraded with whatever bits and bobs you want to upgrade them. You want to make them look more gothic. You want to make them look more haunted. Basic, the basic paint job and the basic build is very simple and easy to do. That being said, the one of the last videos of the month will be me painting a Stormcast character and going over both my technique and the paint scheme I'm doing for my entire Stormcast army, which is this silver and purple look. I looked up and saw the screen; it was blue. Yeah, so silver and blue. No, silver and purple.
Only 2 more guys left.
That's the big thing on my bench right now. And then as we get into December, honestly, December's going to be a couple of painting tutorials, mainly because holidays and whatnot, time is going to be limited in December for what I have available, what we have available. So there's going to be, a couple painting tutorials. And then when we get into the new year is when we're going to finish doing our Imperial Fortress, our modular magnetized Imperial Fortress. That's what the docket at least looks like for now. When and if we can actually do some more unboxings, we'll sneak those in, but those are kind of a surprise when we have them happen.
Excuse me.
We don't always plan those out ahead of time because
we never know when we're gonna have one.
Yeah, it's a matter of when we're gonna get stuff, when we're lucky enough to pick stuff up. What are you looking for?
Tissues.
I don't know.
Thank you. You can get Meeks in here. That'll be awesome. No, it's okay. Commodore, he's actually trying to get a friend of ours. Oh my gosh. So excuse me. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I am really. I can't wait to see pictures of those, Mike.
Yeah, because like we're doing something similar, but we're really going for a more of a savanna type look. So there's not going to be much green at all. It's going to be shades of, pale browns and golds and ochre yellows. So it's going to be, like I said, it's a savanna thing. And if we can't get it in within the last week of November, if we don't get that board in the last week of November, it'll be the first week of December.
Yeah.
So
I really do love how when it came to the Patreon, it was is what he kept saying. And now when he's talking about the crafting, it's us. Even though he's probably going to be doing the majority of the work. If not all of it. Because I'm really not trusted with the
with what?
The drill. After I got my thumb. Sane.
Be nice.
Behave. He does have the phalanx in high orbit.
All right. so we're coming into our second half of the show.
Second half of the show, we're coming into the.
What you done paying your guys in? She's a lovely woman.
Well, okay. And that just got announced all over the internet.
All right. So let's see here. What do we got going on else on that? Well, like I said, we got these figures that we're painting and figures we're building, and then we're going to be painting and then painting and building and painting and building. I'm hoping in December to at least start the sign up for the local Warhammer Warcry tournament I'm going to be running. Unlike the 40K tournament, though, or I should say that unlike the Kill Team tournament,
which has been a super blast.
It's a great time. Lots of fun.
We've been loving it, Ben.
I'm going to try and run it as a one-day event so I can run it Swiss style. So basically, everybody shows up, plays a game, pairings, plays a game, pairings, plays a game, pairings, plays a game. So it'll be like 4 games in one afternoon. And because, I mean, Warcry runs quick. Warcry runs like a 45-minute to an hour game.
Yeah, so, dude. Oh my god.
I had my
Baby Dragon Gaming?
That's me.
Oh my god. For those of you who are wondering who Baby Dragon Gaming is, that is actually Will.
All right. So there it is.
Sorry. That was just really cute. I haven't seen Will sign in yet. But yeah, no, Ben was actually pretty cool because he made us dice trays and everything, which has been making my dice rolling really good, which means I've been getting lots of sixes, which means my boys have been sloughing off.
4 rounds. Actually, I'll just go with the 3 rounds because the first round I shot mainly at the other guy. 3 full rounds of putting every shot I had on the board. Every single shot I had on the board into a single character. The only wound I did that wasn't bounced by armor was the mortal wound I gave her with my sniper because she couldn't take that one off.
And it was a completely different one, by the way.
No, I did one to both of them. I did
the second
round one. I did the first one, and then the second round,
it was in the 3rd round. You actually managed to enter the Zealot.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. 4 rounds a game.
But you didn't get him with the sniper.
I got both of them. Those are the only 2 wounds I did. You didn't fail a single armor roll against me the entire freaking game. You didn't fail a single armor roll. Not one. 3 plus. 3 plus. Means any 1s or 2s. Nope. She didn't know what 1s and 2s looked like. I did. Oh, I know what 1s and 2s looks like. I saw lots of them. Except by my sniper, who saw lots of 2s when I couldn't give him the +1. So 2s are misses, and I can't re-roll those because I can't re-roll 2s. I can re-roll 1s. 4 rounds of frustration. Not her fault. I can't blame her. 4 rounds. My wolves went back in the box. And they're still in the box. And I'm not coming out of the box. They'll come out eventually when they come to play again. But they're not going to see light until then. I'm going to make them hungry. Because apparently they were not hungry enough against her naked strippers.
They were sexually confused. Oh, very cool.
No, Ben, you cannot. You cannot have my stuff.
Ben also made these made us cups.
On the other hand, you can give me your Kill Team starter terrain. I'd happily take that.
Very funny. At least I can happily say that Adrian did not do what my first opponent did when he kept rolling 1s and 2s. Rolled a 2, rolled a 1. He literally picked the dice up and chucked it. I love you, Dante, if you happen to be watching this. I still love you.
A Wonderful Time was not had by all. Custodies are holy crap. And the funny
I'm
thing
gonna
is,
lose this next round. I'm fighting Jason.
that doesn't mean anything. He's got to be able to bounce on his bounce thing. Now, here's the other hilarious thing. There's at least one other Custodies army in the tournament,
Really?
and yours are superior to his.
How so? Am I using the shields and he's using the spears?
Yes, yes.
But yeah, so fun times.
Yeah. So anyhow, like I was saying, I'm looking at putting together a Warcry, like a 1-day tournament, but it's going to be an arena. Yeah, Custodians versus Custodians in arena. When that happens, I don't even want to think about that. But I mean, her playing her guys in against Jason, whatever Jason's playing in arena, that's going to be different because I mean, you are going to be at disadvantage because arena needs guys.
Does that mean?
Well, actually, it's not going to be that big a deal.
Oh, was it? Oh, that's sad. Yeah,
He was eliminated. I didn't even know he lost a match. Oh. Do we know who I'm playing yet? Because I don't even know who I'm playing yet.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm going to be playing up against our buddy Jason, hopefully Friday, if I am able to sneak out of the house for about an hour or so, as we have family coming in this weekend. So you're probably not going to get an surprise live stream.
There will not be an F it, I'll do it live this weekend. I'm going to try and get the video for Sunday wrapped up over the next 2 days, so I can have it pre-posted and just go and not have to worry about it.
We've got family and whatnot coming in and coming over for a Thanksgiving potluck on Saturday, so we are going to be very busy this weekend. So, unfortunately, no. However, I am, like I had said.
Okay.
Cool. I am planning on, as soon as I can, again, figure out how to work this stuff, I'm actually going to be making a video and having my sweet husband edit it for me, basically on how I paint these guys.
Custodians, yes and no. Custodians in 40K are not broken. They're very powerful. I will not say they're not, but they still have a lot of issues. I mean, they're a top tier team, but they're not unbeatable. In Kill Team, it depends on the mission.
If I can get the money, I want to build an entire Custodies army, just like the strippers.
Yeah, if you can get them in Kill Team, it completely depends on the mission, because their guns are okay, but then they give up their invulnerability, and if they're playing the pistol version, the sword and shield, they don't have a lot of range, so they got to get into melee. If they get in their melee, they're going to kill you in Kill Team. But
as was found out by one of his guys.
Yeah, but on the other hand, if you have the ability to run away from them and still score points, yeah, they're not super fast, so they're kind of easy to keep away from. So it's all about what kind of mission you got. They're gonna have problems in arena because you need people for points and multiple points in arena, and Custodians don't.
I told you, I'm probably gonna get knocked out by Jason.
Well, you're gonna get your first loss. You got to lose twice to get out of there, and you still could win by just sheer
dumb luck.
Oh, you're dead. Look, you're dead. I'm not dead. You're dead. Depending on what he plays. Again, we don't even know what his army is.
Ben does.
No,
but I don't want to know.
Ben didn't know. Yeah, gotta open them doors. There are doors in arena. You have to have a guy open the door.
I've never played arena, so I don't actually know what that's what you're talking about. So I'm almost done.
talking about the future of Kill Team a little bit. How about the future of Warcry? Warcry, they announced there's a couple of books coming for Warcry. We're going to get a year-end book, supposedly, that's going to have all the stuff that was on the cards, but in a single book. So the cards that we're producing these cards so you can play other things, but you need the cards to be able to play the game. Now they're finally producing a book.
It's like, oh, by the way, here's a book.
Here's a book because, the cards wasn't working. We couldn't keep the cards in stock. We couldn't keep them supplied, and everybody bought them. And yeah, so there's a book coming out that's going to take everybody and put them in there, finally, including the already existing teams. They're going to have everybody's stats in this book. Mercenary Monster book, which we have, there's another book coming out that's going to have more mercenary type stuff in it. And rumor mill, put no stock in it, but supposedly when Chapter Approved 2019 hits, if you play Blood Bowl, they do a end of year thing like Chapter Approved for the rules, and with little stuff in it for Blood Bowl called the Almanac. Well, the rumor out of England, out of a couple of guys I talked to in England, the rumor is that Kill Team is going to be getting a book like that at the end of the year. That's going to basically be an almanac where it's going to put in all the rules, clarified everything from the FAQs, put them in print, put some new stuff in there. Supposedly, everything that's been added through the into Kill Team through the White Dwarf since the beginning of White Dwarfs, putting stuff at Kill Team in there. Basically, it's going to be an almanac, but for Kill Team. Supposedly, there's going to be one of that. There's also a rumor that there's going to be one of those eventually done for Warcry. Probably not this year, but probably next year they'll have one of those. So, pretty cool stuff. And I guess lastly, since we are in both of November, since I'm seeing Zane already asking people about it, we should talk about Warhammer: The Old World.
So, I have a question.
Everything comes around again, even squares. That's their tagline. The bases in fantasy.
I just was about to say something, and you just.
Yeah, I blamed it at you. So you have a question?
Yes, I do. Is Sigmar the Emperor just in an alternate reality? Sigmar's image is typically depicted of a man either with a giant flaming sword or a giant flaming hammer wearing gold armor, and he has black hair, long flowy black hair. In a book that was called The Last, quite a while ago, it's mentioned that during the last days of the Age of Strife, in which the Emperor, who was known as Revelation at the time, spoke with a priest, and within the priest's church, which was the last of the Abrahamic churches, there were 4 paintings. One of the paintings was literally the Big Bang. Another painting showed Adam and Eve in the yes, I want to know when the Scions of Flames are going to hurry up and show up too. The second painting was done, and they were all done by the same person. The second painting was done of a man and a woman in a garden surrounded by animals, Adam and Eve. A fourth picture was painted of a golden figure with long flowing hair and a halo surrounded by machinery, the Emperor going to Mars. And then there was an image of the being in golden armor with the halo fighting a silver dragon. And if I'm not mistaken, from what I read in Age of Sigmar, is that Sigmar was a man who ascended into godhood, who became the basically more or less the king of the gods when he took out a star drake that was guarding the gates to the other realms and allowed him to free the other gods from the clutches of the four-headed dragon of chaos. And upon reading this, I'm going, wait, because Age of Sigmar is supposed to be an alternate reality on the other side of the warp. So Mike thinks it's the two lost Primarchs. That would be interesting. Cast, which are his troops, are effectively Marines. I like them both. Where did that come from, Will? We weren't even talking about that.
It's fine. It's chat.
It's just.
We're literally just talking about Age of Sigmar. Not you guys. Chat.
So she wants to play Slanesh.
Okay, I got confused there because it seemed like totally non sequitur there.
Oh,
I got a kid. She's Will sitting in the other room, so it was like, wait, what does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with the price of rice in China? I mean, I'm okay with both, in all honesty, Zane. I do like fantasy. I mean, I started all this playing D&D and writing comics and stuff like that. But I also do like the sci-fi version of it all because, you know, sci-fi. I am a huge fan of Cowboy Bebop, and I should probably not point that blade up at my neck. I'm a huge fan of like Cowboy Bebop and the whole Firefly, you know, space. It's all at war, and everybody's superhuman and beautiful. Well, some of them are, and the orcs are just great. I never want to play them. No offense, Mike, but I do think they're very entertaining. Will's blessed.
Look at these guys. They are so cool. How can you not want to play Age of Sigmar? Just look at these guys. These just scream, I want to beat. Look at my hammer. I'm going to beat someone to death with my hammer. Bang, bang, bang. These guys are great. I wish she wanted to play them more, but it's okay. She's going to be playing my hunt.
You know, every single time I try to let it go, I really do. I try to let it go, and he just does crap like this, and it makes me want to kill him in his sleep. And then I remember I actually do love the lug, and I actually kind of want to keep him around for a while.
All right, folks. We are at an hour and a half. 9 o'clock.
So we have 4 minutes left of tonight's segue, and so Big D, closing thoughts?
Paint more minis. It's a great tagline, but people should paint more. Paint more minis. Be your inner miniac and paint more miniatures. Love with your heart, but use your brain for everything else. Captain Disillusionment says that. He's got a great tagline for things.
Who's Captain Disillusionment? That sounds like anti-dad.
No, he's awesome. Captain Disillusionment. He goes in and he debunks freak video. I was showing you that. He's the guy with the half silver face that debunks video.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. You didn't like his makeup job. His makeup job's weird. I always think it's weird. I don't know why he does it. But
hey, it's iconic and you recognize him.
I like the idea of fantasy coming back. I don't know if I'll play it. But I like the idea of it coming back.
If he doesn't, the entire thing that he has painted is going into a giant gallon tub full of simple green. If you don't play.
No, I said fantasy, not AOS. Fantasy. The old world is coming back.
I thought that was part of AOS.
No, it is to AOS with 30K as to 40K. It's before they lost. Because remember,
hold up. From what I heard, Warhammer Fantasy is pre-Age of Strife.
No.
That's what I need to keep.
Warhammer Fantasy
No.
was its own fantasy world, and it was moderately low fantasy.
Okay, this is probably a conversation we should have when we don't have 2 minutes left.
Okay, so anyhow, fantasy, the old world died, and then Sigmar broke free and rebuilt it. And now you have Age of Sigmar. So
That's not completely...
that's actually completely what happened. There's a lot more lore to it, but that's basically what happened.
Yeah, there's quite a bit more.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. I'm playing Age of Sigmar. That's why I say I don't know if I'm going to play fantasy, because, I mean, the age of my Wood Elves is gone. Maybe. I don't know. I like these guys. I like these guys a lot. Look at these guys. These guys are so... Who doesn't want to play a giant winged double hammer swinging, I'm going to jack you up guy in plate mail? Come on! How can you not want to play these guys?
I have one of those, and it's called a Living Saint. Zane's trying to make a stay.
That's what happened.
Unfortunately, I am actually fighting a cold, courtesies of my plague-bearing child. And this guy actually has work in the morning. Let's see. Parting words from the Lady Dragon. As always, let your imagination lead you. It is your only limit. Don't listen to that voice inside your head that tells you you are crap. You are your worst critic.
Nurgle does love her.
Yes, Nurgle loves me a lot. Especially during the winter. Thank you, Mike.
They maybe. Remember, we know nothing about it at this point. We honestly know nothing other than there's going to be square bases involved, and it's at least 3 years out. So,
Blood for the Blood God.
Skulls for the Skull Throne. Phlegm for the masses.
I swear, Nurgle needs something better. I mean, Blood for the Blood God is pretty friggin' cool.
No, Nurgle has a war cry.
What is it?
Hi, I'm Steve. Hi, Steve.
Nurgle loves you. Grandfather Nurgle loves you.
Papa
all.
Nurgle loves you.
No one drinks from the skulls of their enemies anymore.
There's just holes in them. There's so many holes. I'm so thirsty.
Actually, if you listen to Nobunaga, he cuts everything off from roughly about, he cuts the skull like this, straight around, and then he would...
That is actually a pretty good Nurgle cry, too. Vaccines cause autism. Don't use them.
Thank you, Jenny McCarthy.
And now you realize why you have to do the Sisters of Filth, but you paint them up all as blondes. And instead of giving them a rhino, you have to give them a soccer mom van to drive around.
No, a Prius, because it has to be a hybrid.
All right, folks. We love you all. We thank you for spending this time with us.
And again, we give a call out to our patrons, our level 1 patron,
Heinrich.
Thank you so much for that donation. Level 2 to our Inquisitor Zane. You are a wonderful saint. Keep up the good work in the name of the Emperor. And our level 3, the blood brother of my heart, the Commodore. Thank you so much.
And game on.
Don't forget to hit that like button.
Smash that like button.
And hit that bell.
Don't forget to smash that like button.
A shiny blue Prius, no less.
Just not a green one. At least not a green dress. Because that's cruel.
So, yes, as I was saying, hit that subscribe, hit that like button, hit that bell.
No one will be on next. You'll hear it from us first, and we will see you soon.
And don't forget to check out our Patreon.
We'll see you soon.
Epic Your Life.